The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
Oh, are we starting? Oh, sorry.
There it is, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. Episode number 362. Apparently, it's all Michigan all day long. Go Blue, says Dave. What is you got your Go Blue hat on for those who aren't watching on YouTube? Big game there on Monday afternoon. I was going to ask you. We'll get to the intros later on, but let's get into it right now. At around 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, what was your butthole like when it wasn't going so well for the Michigan Wolverines and the Alabama Crimson Tide? We're kind of looking like they're going to win that game. Let's get into it. Why not?
It was right at halftime. It was like Michigan left so many opportunities on the board. They were beating them up on both sides of the ball in the first half, and it's like, fuck. You got to cash this shit in. And then when Bama took the lead, I thought it's here we go again. And, what a final drive. What a great way to they owned it. They were the better team. They stuffed it down their throat. There was no luck involved on that. No controversy. They went down. They scored. And overtime, obviously, it was just the two possessions. Michigan did their job on both sides of the ball, and we're playing on Monday night in the national championship game.
When they missed that extra point, and then the field goal, and then the score was whatever it was, 21-21. It doesn't matter what it was, I guess. But I was like, oh fuck! I thought for sure that this is going to be Alabama's game, because you only get, like, especially when it comes to these championship games, and you get only so many chances to score points, right? And when you leave points on the table like Michigan did, I thought there's no, and just the way sports works, and not college football, hockey, everything else. What I can compare to it, the Team Canada game the other day, the other morning, where they just couldn't score, and eventually their team just scores. And that's what I was thinking about with the Michigan game, that they left those points on the table. I thought Alabama's going to win. And even when it went to overtime, I got to thinking, just because the way the points left on the board, yes, Michigan's defense was fantastic, and Alabama wasn't running the ball or doing much offensively. I just thought, when usually in these big games, when you leave points on the board, you usually lose.
Yeah, it bites you in the ass, and Alabama being a more experienced, even though Michigan has been in the college football playoff the last 3 years. This is the first time they've been favored to win a game, and as a number one seed, and was the moment too big for them? But it wasn't too big. I'm so proud of that team, the way they played with poise. They laid an egg in that third quarter. But I think they're playing for each other. They're playing for their coach. And they made mistakes. Both teams made mistakes. Michigan, if they tidy up their special teams, the muff punt and the kicking game, they could have won that game by 15, 20 points. They really could have. But they didn't. They made some mistakes and had to climb back, and they did. And I, in my mind, as a Michigan fan, they were clearly the better team on the field that day.
They were. They should have wrapped that game up quite a bit earlier. But you know what? It was great entertainment for the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl, like that setting there. I watched a lot of stuff the next day, and to a man, people are like, that should be the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day. College football should be done. Just call it good before NFL playoffs start. Everything else, have the Rose Bowl game as a national championship game. The fans are there, the people are there, the parade's there, on and on it goes. The setting, the time of day,
the weather is there.
Is perfect. The time of day is perfect. It starts at, I think, at 3:30 Mountain Standard Time, and then it's 4:30, 7:30 Eastern. It finishes. There you go. I hope once they go to 12 teams, which they are next year, they find a way to condense it, to have it done on January 1st every year, because that would be the best way to end college football, because I think that the Rose Bowl setting, on and on it goes. That's the best way to finish college football, because everybody knows the Rose Bowl. No one knows where they're playing the fucking national championship game this year. It's at Texas, whatever stadium where
it's in Houston.
It's in Houston, but what stadium? It's not a college football stadium. Like, have it at the Rose Bowl year in, year out. The lights go down when the lights go on when the sun goes down. Have the Rose Bowl, call it good, done deal. See you later.
I don't have a problem with that. It's the granddaddy. It's the thing. It's been a day forever, right? The Tournament of Roses parade,
especially now when there's no Pac-12.
Right, Pac-12 is done. So why not have it there? And you don't have to worry about any kind of home field advantage anymore. It's kind of nice. The fact that it was there. I found the crowd to be fairly 50-50, unlike the Sugar Bowl over there in New Orleans. Texas fan outnumbered Washington fan 3-1 there. Yeah. So, and it's in a dome and it's late at night. Like, Christ, half those people had to break curfew to stay up to watch that game on the Eastern.
I'm not going to lie to you, like, Dave. I got into it a little bit on New Year's Eve. So by the time the Rose Bowl was done and we had supper waiting on the table, when I got upstairs, we got done with Jim and Garrett here. I watched the game for a little bit, and by about 9:00 Mountain Standard Time, I was like, you know what? I'm good. I was, yeah. I didn't start till 7.
Oh yeah, I had some pretty bad head bobs too. I fell asleep when Washington was up by 10 or 13, and then I woke up just to see Texas get their 3 tries with 20 seconds left.
Yeah,
and so I did see the end, but I didn't see any kind of that comeback or anything like that. But
it was a great couple of football games on Sunday. Well, I guess Monday. Geez, you lose track of days when this time of year. Like, every day is a Friday, or morning's a Monday when it comes down to those days. But no, great football games. Great way to wrap up the season. Turns out, you know what? Like, looking back, hindsight's 2020. I don't want to get into the Florida State thing, because we talked about with Jim and Garrett the other day that the Florida State didn't play anybody. A lot of guys opted out, but you know what? Those were 2 really, really, really good football games. Not great football games, really good football games. So maybe, once in a while, the prognosticators and the guys who pick the team, sometimes, you know what? They get it right. The matchups were great.
Yeah, and like we mentioned on that New Year's Day show, Florida State, I get it. They had kids opting out in the transfer portal, but fuck it, you just lost 63-3 to a team that just lost to Alabama, right? You don't have an argument anymore. It's done. You guys didn't belong, and it sucks. You're undefeated, but undefeated teams don't lose by 60. Like, it's okay to lose, but not by 60.
Not by 60. And no matter how much you're protesting, everything else, the coaching staff has to pull guys together and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, well, we can talk for weeks on end about that whole ordeal. Dave, there was a little situation. Actually, where do you want to go? Do you want to talk some college football? Do you want to talk some hockey? What do you want to do?
Well, let's keep going college. I got one more thing, and I'm wearing my University of Montana
Are they still going?
They are in the FCS championship game on Sunday. So I got my 2 favorite college football teams are both in national championship games this weekend. Montana plays South Dakota State. I want to say at 2:00 noon Mountain Standard.
Check your local listings.
Check on ABC. That'll be noon on Sunday, and then the big fat one in Houston on Monday night. But so I got my 2 favorite teams are playing for national titles. It'd be awesome to go 2-0 on this one, but Montana's a 14-point dog. So
I watched the South Dakota State North Dakota game about is it 3 weeks? Jesus, where time is it?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Yeah,
I watched that game, and that South Dakota team was actually very, very good. Like they were fast. Like I don't like. I'm not going to pretend to watch FCS football at all. Like I'm not going to be. But I watched that game because it was on. So you put it on like the 19 TVs down here. So it was something to behold. Like they're on a mission, and Montana. And the thing with Montana, they're always there. So they're the Ric Flair per se of the FCS. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And Montana's been there so many times over the years. So it's one of those things where the challenger's coming in swinging.
It's been a minute though since Montana's won it all. Like I want to say 15, 17 years. It's been. Oh yeah, they're always ranked. I won't say always. They're usually a top 10 team. But it's been a minute. Like I want to even say it might be 20 years since they've won it all. And yes, and I want South Dakota State has won 2 or 3 of the last 5.
North Dakota's been the big one.
And North Dakota, that's Jarrett Goff and I think Mike Commodore of
Mike
Carolina Hurricane fame. Yeah.
No, not Mike Commodore. He never played football there, I don't think.
I think no, but he played hockey there, I believe. Anyways, it's not important. FCS champs. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching both my teams represent in their national championship game. So
I kind of don't. I don't have a dog in the fight by any means for Monday night with Michigan and Washington playing, but I kind of hope that Washington wins a little bit because I'm a Pac-12 guy, Pac-10 guy originally, and everything else. And then I kind of hope that the Pac-12 kind of has a bit of a tip of the cap, go on a high note, see you later. And you know what? That maybe they'll find a way to figure that whole mess out because the Pac-12 is so historic and everything else is gone. It is kind of odd to think that there's no more Pac-12 after Monday night. And I'm kind of cheering for Washington, kind of on our neck of the woods. And I'm like we said on the other night with Jim and Garrett there, I'm not a Harbaugh guy, but Harbaugh's parents had a quite funny interview because now I know where Harbaugh gets it from. I saw on Twitter the other day, like, Jesus Christ, they're hard asses. But I'm not hoping against your Michigan Wolverines, but I'm not cheering for your Michigan Wolverines.
I don't know why you wouldn't, but I get it. You're Pac-12.
Tip of the cap, see you later.
Yeah, but then that could be Jim Harbaugh, and everybody can crawl out of his ass too, and hate on him in the NFL.
He just
NFL. So Montana hasn't won the title since 2001. Was the last time they won it all. They were in the final game in 2004, in 2008, 2009. They were in the final game. But that's been it. So yeah, it's been.
Oh, you guys were told like they were the fucking Rocky Balboa of the fucking FCS. The way you guys pop off about the Montana Grizzlies.
Well, they won a title and they were in 2 championship games like 5 years later. But yeah, they used to be always there, and then since 2011. It's been North Dakota State has won. Holy fuck. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 titles. 8 titles. North Dakota State has won 8 titles. Surprised. And South Dakota State won it all last year, and they beat North Dakota State. So like it's North Dakota, South Dakota State are your big boys of the FCS now.
Well, color me fucking surprised. I did not know that. I learned something here. See, not only is a 1420 Sports Bar podcast entertaining, it's also educational.
And if you follow us on Twitter, we can be corrected by resident fact checker.
By our friend Tim, who the NHL, they released their I saw you were tweeting back and forth with Garrett there about the NHL, their All-Star game selections. What it was, they picked one guy from every team today who went to the All-Star game. Of course, Bedard's going to be that guy who gets picked. Yes, he's probably not the leading scorer. Yes, but he's a marketable guy. The NHL All-Star game, Garrett, has nothing to do with how good you are. It's how marketable you are. That's all it is. The NHL All-Star game.
Every team gets one
right off the bat. Like there's a lot of teams that shouldn't have a player like at all. So the NHL All-Star game is more about marketing than any other All-Star game in professional sports. There it is.
Yeah. They're there to shake hands and kiss babies and maybe get into her a little bit one night in wherever it is.
I would hope so for the dribble that they put on television. Anyways,
do you think Connor Bedard has a fake ID?
Doesn't need one.
Does he get carded?
He goes in the back door VIP room. He's fine. He's fine.
Can he? But he can't rent a car.
He can't rent a car, but he was getting into Lauderdale's and fucking Regina last year, for fuck's sake, which is the under, like he would have been 17 in Regina last year.
60.
He was fine going to Lauderdale's. I don't know if it's even there. Anyone watched the place we used to go. Met Gino Ojic there years ago. Funny little story. We'll talk about it off the air. Gino and me, we had some drinks together back in 1993. I think it was at Lauderdale's. I'm assuming it's not there anymore, but yeah, it's a funny story in Regina, Saskatchewan. Dave, you sent me a thing that you got from Deadspin a couple of days ago about the Oakland A's, and that thing just won't go away. About the owner not having enough money to move to Las Vegas. They're rendered drawings and the money and blah, 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 it goes. And then there was a story today, and we'll get into that in half a second, about the Pioneer League team. There used to be a Pioneer League team here in Lethbridge, Alberta. They're starting up a new franchise there in Oakland. That they wanted to use the Oakland Coliseum for one day when the A's were on the road. And the Oakland A's, because they are the tenant, like the city of Oakland said, yeah, go ahead, go nuts. But the tenant, which is the Oakland A's for this season, the A's said, no, you can't rent the building for one day. This thing is starting to get really smelly once again. I think we first brought it up about this time last year where they were threatening to move and everything else. But this thing is getting really smelly to me. Is there a chance that, because the owners approved the move, and on it goes. But is there a puncher's chance, you think, of the Oakland A's maybe not having a home to go to in 2028 when they hope to go to Oakland?
Vegas. Dare to
Vegas,
dream.
sorry.
Yeah, dare to dream, because I would love to see a tight-fisted prick like this, who is clearly not in it for the love of the game, for the love of the fans, to win a championship. He does not care. It's all about how can he wring every last nickel out of being a major league owner. So if he's left without a place to play, I would love to know what's in the contract that he signs with Major League Baseball to say, well, then we take your franchise away. Like if you have a car, you need gas, insurance, and registration. For baseball, you need players, you need a manager, and you need a place to play. It's simple. It's simple as far as I can figure it out. And he doesn't deserve to own this team. And that article I sent you is that as it sits right now, they still don't have plans or funding to build this new stadium in Vegas. Who no one's going to go to in July when it's 48 degrees outside. Like it's
48 Canadian, which is 170 American, but one of those things. Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty much Celsius. When we're talking about temperature, it's pretty much the same as the money exchange. It's an absolute shit show. It's embarrassed. This guy has no shame, the owner of the Oakland A's, and he's shown that. But now I hope Major League Baseball and there has to be some owners that got to be feeling a little bit embarrassed of the situation they've backed themselves into by capitulating to a tight-fisted prick who doesn't want to get off his wallet, and all of a sudden he has to pay for something now, and people aren't jumping up to bail him out. Like, and when I say people, I mean the taxpayers of Las Vegas.
like you wonder if those rendered drawings of the stadium, if they had spoons in the ground in Vegas and they had everything, all the I's were dotted and T's were crossed. If the Oakland Bees, this Pioneer League team, if all the stuff for the Oakland A's was signed, sealed, delivered, you wondered if the A's would say, like the owner, what's his, I don't even know his name, who cares what the fuck the guy's name is, John Fisher. If John Fisher would said, you know what, let's give the A's fans something here in Oakland. Let's give them something to look forward to for baseball in the area. You know what? I guarantee you that if the A's had this deal in Oakland or in Vegas, signed, sealed, delivered, I guarantee you the Oakland Bees would be able to play a game on August the 12th or whatever day they wanted to go there and play. This is a fucking desperate move by a desperate owner saying, oh, Jesus, if I have to come back to a stadium in 2028 that I've already told my fans that I'm not coming back to, and a Pioneer League team has fucking put 40,000 people in the seats, because the Oakland fans will do that. The Oakland fans would have done that on that day, whatever day that they said. They would have put 40 grand, because the tickets would have been $10, right? Like, you've been to Pioneer League games. I've umpired Pioneer League games back in the day, on and on it goes. They would have put 40,000 in that stadium, guaranteed, in Oakland, just to fucking shove it up.
Just out of spite, yes.
Out of spite, 100%. So now Fisher's like, oh, Jesus, I can't put a major league team back in Oakland. What do I do now? Because this Pioneer League team was charging $10, and I'm charging $140 for a team that wins 15 games a fucking year. It's a bad look for this guy, man. It's been a bad look for a number of years now, but this one's a all new low this week with the no stadium deal still in Vegas. And this minor league team saying, yeah, can he give us a shot? And he says, no. It's a bad look on this guy. It's getting worse every day.
I got to believe there's a caveat in that contract with that to move the team to Vegas. I'm surprised it's even announced without funding, location, and, like you said, the drawings for the new building haven't even been released. Like, that shit, it seems to me that's putting the cart before the horse. Right?
Yeah.
It's how it's making Major League Baseball look really bad. And, that fuckface that's running that thing, Manfred, is that his name?
Robbie Manfred. Robbie Manfred.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't see a foot that he won't put in his mouth. He's always stepping on it too. So it doesn't surprise me that much. Thinking he's a Roger Goodell out here, being a kingmaker, but it's a bad look, and I would love this Fisher to breach a contract, right? So what happens? Like, because Oakland Alameda, I believe that's owned by the city, and obviously the A's have been the primary tenant ever since the Raiders left.
No, they were always the primary tenant because they play more games, right? And
then, but now, like, no, you don't play here anymore. You said you don't want to play here, and like either jack up the rent or make them turn off the hot water. Okay, you can play here, but you get no hot water.
The deal is up at the end of next season for the A's, and now it's like, all right, now we're gonna play, because they have nowhere to play after next season, like officially. Like, actually, they have no contracts in order for anywhere to play at the end of next season.
And you're not building a stadium in 365 days.
No, you don't build a house in that fucking 365.
Right. Like, and whatever, here's your shit bed. You lay in.
Or you can build a house, Dave, but you can't move into a new house. Trust me, I know this one from fucking.
A lot of bleacher seats and everything.
There is.
Just the Pioneer League team in outside of Kalispell, the Glacier Range Riders, who I've been lucky enough to go to a couple games with my family. The first year, the stadium's done, the field is done, but everything is not done. It's not finished. The parking lot's not finished. The greenery's not finished. The picnic areas, the family areas, like that shit.
The odd concession, this and like this,
right? Yeah, the basics are done.
The stuff that the quasi baseball fan actually cares about isn't done.
Right. The accoutrements. Can we call them the accoutrements?
Like if a baseball fan like me or you goes to a game, the game's on, the field's done, there's first, second, third base, and a home plate. There's a fence. I'm good.
Yeah, and the luxury boxes are done.
As long as there's a fucking beer that I can get, I'll watch a game.
You bet.
Because I know it's going to get better. But you aren't getting quasi baseball fan back after the first time because you're like Martha and Karen are like, is the field done yet? You're like, well, not really. They aren't going.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought there was going to be a martini bar over here. Well, that's going to come next
year.
Well, I thought there was going to be grass for the kids to play on. Well, that's 2 years from now.
Because the website said this.
You bet.
The website said this.
Coming soon.
Yeah. Who's playing for this team? I don't know. But the website said this. Yeah, but it's just, honey, can we just go to the fucking game? Yeah. It's one of those things.
But it's 48 degrees outside.
I ain't going.
I thought that was going to be in the shade. Well, that's in 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming. It's an absolute mess. If you had to put a percentage on it and whatever else, like they probably aren't. Like I'm going to be. I think there's a 10% chance after next season that they're still playing in Oakland, and it makes me sad that fan base and it's over the years it's been nip and tuck, give and take, and everything else for the Oakland A's and their fan base. But do you ever see the Oakland A's just maybe somebody jumps in, buys a team, and moves them to a new state and gets a deal done that this Fisher guy didn't want to get done, and that's the biggest thing. Fisher didn't want to get this deal done.
And it's not impossible, right? Like, because San Francisco, Oakland area, there's so much money in that area, right? Like maybe a .com billionaire just said, let's fucking play in San Jose. Right, build a stadium close by where the Sharks play, that kind of thing. I don't know where the Golden State Warriors play.
They moved across the bay to San Francisco.
They're in San Fran now, but just something like that. There's so much money down in that area. I don't know where you would be able to buy the land or that kind of thing. But that's not my tax bracket. That's not my problem. But I think it would be great because the A's are a storied franchise, and as successful as they've been, they've also been a little bit wacky, right? With players like Vida Blue and Reggie Jackson and Ricky, and they've kind of done it their way, and their fan base is a little It's like the Oakland Raider fan base, right? But now
that fan base is fantastic. I've been fortunate enough to go there for a number of times back in the early 2000s, and I went in 2014 for the Jeter Tour. They got a fantastic fan base. They just don't go enough. And I get why Fisher is like, I'm going to go to different pastures, and they ain't greener because he doesn't have a building to go to, but. I wonder, Dave, why the other Major League Baseball owners approve this. Yes, you want to get into Vegas, which would be the smallest market. I read this today. They would, so on the Deadspin thing you sent me today, they would be the smallest market in Major League Baseball, going to Vegas.
By a margin, yeah.
By a long shot. In the heat and everything else. And were they just so jacked, like the other owners getting their expansion money and not really thinking this through? Because owners are greedy. Every sport we talk about,
it would be relocation money, no?
Relocation money and TV money and gambling money and on and on it goes. Not one person I talked to about this whole ordeal has said that's a good move. Nobody has said this is a good move.
It's such a head scratcher because, I'm going to bring this up every time. Summer ball in Vegas is going to be ridiculous. You're going to have to play day games. You can't play every single game at night. And, the Vegas Raiders works because A, it's in winter, B, it's covered, and C, it's NFL football. There's only 8 games a year. Like that stadium wasn't built just for the Raiders. It was built for a multi-use facility.
Concerts.
When you're building
Taylor Swift's going there 10 times a year, Elvis impersonators, whatever.
There's going to be car shows there. There's going to be conventions there. That much is clear. I don't know how you multi-use a baseball stadium, and maybe they're going to have a winter classic there next New Year's Day. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
there's going to be this fan base isn't following. And like I said, I don't know if there is a relocation fee and why this Fisher couldn't get off his wallet and help figure out how to build a new stadium in Oakland where the fans want to love this team. They want to get behind. They want to cheer. But you've driven them away by just being such a tight fuck that they've turned on you. And they showed, the fan base showed when they had the reverse boycott game. That was awesome. We did an episode the day after. I don't know what the owners are thinking. Obviously, they look at ledgers differently than we do, and how this works, I don't know. But at the end of the day, too, it's not their money. They're getting a little kickback from it. And it's his money, Fisher's money, if it fails.
We'll get off this the second day, but it's one of those situations where this guy rolls in to Vegas. They show a profit in the first 3 or 4 years because everything's shiny new toy, right? No matter what, they will be okay for the first 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. Then he sells it because you know what, here's the ledger, here's what it is, like you said, and then sells it because that's what business guys do.
I can't imagine it's going to be worth, because if you're going to, unless you're going to buy it and move it back to Oakland, right? I got to guess like the casinos are going to be buying blocks of 1,000 tickets for every single game. But then after one season, it's like, we can't fucking give these away. Like, we can't give them away. Like, they would rather be in air-conditioned comfort playing nickel slots than taking a free ticket to
because even walk site like where it's proposed to be built, it's the old Tropicana spot across from New York, and by MGM. It's not very far from where the
circus and stuff. Yeah,
the circus is way on the other end.
What am I thinking of? But okay, it's not important.
But if you are just even yes, there's trams, there's transportation. But in the summertime, when you're walking down the streets of Vegas, you got to drunk half the time, but you got to be out of your head to walk through the downtown because it's hot. It's hot, and those people you're competing with a lot of people who are going to shows and concerts and everything else. Baseball is the last thing that people are going to in Las Vegas in July and August. It's the last thing going through your mind. Yeah, you might get the odd Cub fan. Yeah, you might get the odd Dodger fan. Yeah. On and on it goes. But baseball is the fucking last thing you're thinking of. Hockey's worked in Vegas for one reason. One reason, not one reason only, but you get Canadians going down there to watch the Oilers. You get Canadians going to watch the Flames. You get Canadians going to Toronto. On and on it goes. Minnesota. Whatever cold weather states and everything else is. Hockey works in Vegas because you get a lot of people that are going to a cold
it's a weather. Road trip.
It's a road trip for the team. People are not going to Vegas for a fucking baseball game. They're not.
No,
I've been to one with the Vegas 51s, whatever it was, because I'm a baseball dork, so I went. And it was hot and it was shitty. It was hot and shitty.
And so it's Seattle, Texas, the Angels, and them. Like who? Fuck! We'll watch our team.
Why would you go for a road trip when you're getting tickets for fucking $10 in your hometown? Because tickets in Vegas aren't going to be cheap. Nothing in Vegas is cheap. Nothing.
Right. And it's like you say, it's baseball. You can sit in the super bleachers for $10 on buy 4 tickets on SeatGeek.com,
mm-hmm.
right? $40 on beer and you're having a night, right? $40 in Vegas. And I don't know if that's going to get you in the door.
No, this Jim Fisher guy, he's got a lot. I think he's and with I think he's squirming a little bit because with this thing with the Oakland Bees, a minor league team, and that he said no to having a minor league team play in his building when the A's are on the road. He's squirming a little bit. That's greasy, man. That's greasy.
I hope this blows up right in his face. Like I have no sympathy for him at all, and I would like to see him fail spectacularly on a financial scale. Like and to the point where Major League Baseball might sue him and take the team away from him for dereliction of duty.
But the other owner said it was okay. That's what's weird to me. Because they're not dumb guys, or they're dumb guys,
or they were sold a false bill of goods. I don't know. Like it doesn't. I don't understand why you would have a summer sport on one of the hottest places on the fucking planet. You know,
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Anyways, anything else on that?
No, I think fuck Fisher. And unless you put a dome on that thing and start pumping AC 247, it's not going to work.
Go Oakland Bees. Go Oakland Bees. Looking for the Oakland. And Don Wakamatsu, he was the manager for the Seattle Mariners a few years back. He's the guy heading the whole thing. So you might see him with the out there in Missoula or wherever the fuck you watch the Pioneer League team this year. Don Wakamatsu, remember him?
The name sounds familiar, isn't he?
He was a Seattle Mariners manager. Now he's heading up the team that in Oakland, the Pioneer League, and there must be money in the Pioneer League. There must.
The Flathead Range Riders, like it's halfway between Kalispell and Whitefish at the old car racing track. Yeah,
there must be money in the Pioneer League because if these guys are investing in it, there's got to be a couple of bucks in it. They're not getting loaded, but they're not getting poor.
They're getting in on the ground floor.
There you go. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For bigger sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com and SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek.com for Range Riders tickets, for Oakland Bees tickets, but fuck the Oakland A's. Fuck them.
Fuck Steve Fisher.
There you go.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod, that's 1420pod, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
There it is. Once again, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize we were starting again. I just got this going on a loop.
Go Michigan, whatever that song is called. They got a shot. They might win the national championship. They got a chance at a natty on Monday night. Dave, if you were before we get to the next topic here, let's say you can only make one bet. One bet and one bet only. It's your house that Michigan wins that game. Are you doing it?
Oh, no. Fuck, no.
You're not that confident.
Let me see the line here. I don't even know the line.
No, forget the line. I don't care about the line.
Oh, no. No, I'm not like I don't mind gambling to make it easy once to make it interesting once in a while. But no, I don't get down like that. Like even my Broncos, like I like the Broncos more than I like the Wolverines or the Grizzlies. Like it's just no, like they play the games for a reason, and I can't get down like that. You know what? Maybe I'll wear a dress and walk through the mall or something like that, right? Or I'd rather bet big stakes for humiliation factor as opposed to actual financial, because the victory is in the victory, not a payday. If that makes sense.
So you're not confident?
Oh, I'm completely confident. I think after watching Huskies, haven't seen a defense like Michigan. Like Texas can't play D. I don't know how the fuck they beat Alabama. I really don't.
Well,
After watching those
fast, they're something.
Yeah, I watched both games, and I am quite confident that Michigan is the best team left standing. I'm quite confident, but they should have beat Texas Christian last year too. That was embarrassing losing to them.
It's one of those things, Dave. There was a little situation happening in the world of in hockey. Kind of made a national news last night here up in Canada with the on Sportsnet, where Jennifer Botterill, she kind of took a couple of hockey guys to school a little bit, and with her statements about cheap shots and playing tough and playing rough. I don't know if you saw it, heard last night, but it was quite funny. There was a situation with the Minnesota Wild, Ryan Hartman, who's been suspended once this year already. He cheap shotted Cole Perfetti on the Winnipeg Jets, who I think is a little bit of a prick with the way he his look. That's my new word this year already. That's already a couple of times. He's a little prick, but
it started with Kaprizov getting
there was a situation where one guy got hit, and then this guy got hit, and there was this, that, and the third, and everything else was happening. And Hartman flat out, and without a doubt, because Perfetti was mic'd up on Sportsnet for a Jets game. Perfetti got a stick in the face, and it wasn't like in hockey standards. It wasn't awful. It was a bad shot. It was cheap, 100%, but it wasn't slap shot to the Hanson brothers by any means. But it was a cheap shot, and Hartman got caught on mic because Perfetti was mic'd up. Said, "Yeah, I'm doing that because you that guy got you, so I'm getting you, or that guy got him, so I'm getting you." What's your thoughts on that? Because that kind of hockey's been around for a long time. And it's nothing new. And anybody who thinks that's the first time that's happened, they've never watched a game of hockey in their life. Especially if you're under the age of 50, that's nothing new. That's been going on forever. What were your thoughts first off on what happened on that, and we'll get into what Jennifer Botterill, how she kind of talked about Jamal Myers and how she kind of like, you're an idiot, dude.
I think it's what happened to Perfetti. In like when we say it wasn't that bad of a cheap shot, they're in the fucking face-off circle. The guy, this Perfetti, was taking a face-off and ended up wearing the blade to the face. I think that is as cheap as it gets. It's like coming in and on a UFC fight, pretending to touch gloves and punching a guy in the face. It's like a pitcher, instead of throwing an off-speed into the middle of the back, it's a fastball to the head. It's that fucking cheap. When you're not expecting it and you're doing something that I almost prefer you hit me in the back into the boards than that. That's so fucking cheap. So cheap.
I agree. It was cheap. I 100% agree with you. It was 100% cheap. And like the Jennifer Botterill, she made a very good point. And she was a long-time Hockey Canada player for Team Canada, won gold medals and everything else. And her brother Jason Botterill played National Hockey League. I think he's the GM of the Buffalo Sabres right now. So they're a hockey family. So she gets it, and she made a very good point. And when I first heard her say it this morning, it brought a smile to my face about an old junior hockey coach of mine, Rod Cullens, who he was in a hard ass. There was no getting around that. And what Botterill said is that tough and physical are a lot different than cheap and dirty. And I had an old hockey coach to tell a goon on one of my teams that we played for that he was swearing at the guy and said, "You think you're tough? You think you're tough? What you did was what was actually fucking dirty. You aren't tough. You're sticking a guy in the face. You aren't tough. If you're gonna be physical, hit a guy in the fifth row, hit him hard, hit him clean. That's when people will respect you. If you're doing something cheap and dirty, you're not any better than anybody else. Like, fuck off." And I agree with you that this Hartman thing was cheap and dirty for 100%. It's been around for a long time, but it was so blatant because it was a face-off, right? Because there's ways you can hide that kind of aggression in a hockey game where no one would notice, where nobody would notice. This Hartman kid, he's flat out just went, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to stick you in the face. And it was cheap. It was cheap and shitty.
And when we like, and I get it when you say it wasn't that bad. You're right. Like he caught him with the blade. It was crazy cheap.
Gave him a close shave.
And yeah, but you know when now you're starting to put that stick in someone's face, really bad shit happen, right? You can cut a guy really easy. You can knock a couple chiclets out really easy.
A little trick of the wrist for those watching on YouTube. A little trick of the wrist. It can be right in the guy's eye, and then what?
Right, the guy moves.
A visor does nothing on that. Visor does nothing on that.
And you know, it's not. It's where you're planning on hitting him has nothing to do because you don't know where his head's moving. Right, he stumbles, and then all of a sudden, like the things that could go wrong, and all of a sudden your message is now a 20-game suspension and a career-threatening injury for a guy, or oral surgery and 10 new teeth. Like, you know, and that's the price you play when you're playing hockey. I get it. I couldn't only imagine. I would imagine most retired hockey players have, I would imagine the over-under is 5 fucking false teeth in their mouth. It happens when you play this game. And that's something that you accept as a risk of playing this game. But you're supposed to lose those chiclets in a fight or an elbow against the boards or taking a stick in the mouth in a hit, not taking a fucking face off and someone wanting to send a message by slapping you in the face with a stick. That's fucking chicken shit bullshit. And I'm going to go on a little bit here. Like we talked about it. These fucking fancy ass, prissy ass, candy ass kids that want to dangle and show everybody how wicked they are. They can skate, they can go front edge, back edge, they can do everything they can, but don't fucking hit me. What are you doing hitting me? I was going to show you my double tweet deep.
That's been very prevalent the last about 3-4 weeks. I've been a little bit out of it.
Pussies don't want to get hit anymore. You can't take a hit.
A guy can't take a hit. Or we listened to the Barn Burner podcast there. Those guys and Rhett Warner, old retro. He says these guys don't know how to get hit anymore. And I saw a few weeks ago this guy can't get hit. And like I agree with you, Dave. I like hockey, or I love hockey. And I understand, but there can be a definite 30 years ago way to play the game that can combine into the way the game's played today. I think there can be, but I don't know if it can be taught because everybody's a superstar now. And like back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50, 60, whatever you want to do. There was roles that players played, right? There was the tag. Like I'm not saying goonery. I'm not saying the Hansons on Slapshot. I'm not saying that at all. But there was roles that players played, and they made a decent amount of money, or they made a living, or they played National Hockey League. Now every kid's the exact fucking same kid, and if you touch me, you can't touch me. You can't touch me, and that says something about society a little bit, but I don't want to get into that till our next segment because I got another thing on that one with the Aaron Rodgers thing with Jimmy Kimmel. But I agree with you, man. Like there's just some things sometimes, like, you know what? If you don't want someone to do that to you, don't do it to them. It's pretty simple. Like back when I played hockey, if you fuck with a fuck, you get fucked. Right? And that's how it was. So there would be games where nothing would happen. Nothing. We'd get beat fucking 5-4, 4-3, whatever it was. Nothing would happen. But if somebody fucked around with Harry York, who went up to National Hockey League, Blair Manning, who scholarship, blah, blah, blah. If someone fucked with those guys because they were talented players, then little tap and laces would happen. Kids can't accept that nowadays. They can't.
The skill, and we say it all the time, that the skill is these kids are doing things that we couldn't even dream of a couple years ago, about 10, 15 years ago. And then they're given the space and they never are playing a physical game anymore. And this sport, the thing that made hockey so popular and that is exciting to watch is the speed and the physicalness of it. And clean hits are, I don't know if they can even deliver clean hits. And you have the couple guys that can.
You don't know anymore.
Yeah, and then now they got to fight 5 fucking guys
Every
because
time.
they're delivering a good hit. And then otherwise you got these now, like when someone, that the incident we're talking about, it was the Kaprizov from Minnesota took a cross check, one in the back, then one on the hip. Like it was, and I saw that highlight too. Like it was cheap, but it wasn't egregious. It was a cross check to the hip. And if
Whatever.
you're going to piss and moan about that, like, fuck, well, he might be injured. Well, then get fucking tougher or I don't want to wear a kidney belt because then that makes me uncomfortable when I'm doing my spinoramas. Well, then don't fucking bitch.
But don't play.
Wear your seatbelt or go through the fucking windshield. That's what happens. I'm not saying
that's a good point.
It's, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go in the corners. Well, then fine. I won't go in the corners anymore. I want my 50 goals. I want to get 42 points. Like, look, I was off the thing. Don't give me a minus on that. Fucking bunch of whiny fucking tits wanting to show everybody how good they are. Tell everybody how tough they are. But when it's time to fuck or walk on the ice, it's just like, oh, fuck. No, hey. That's not my role here. I'm here to look pretty and score goals.
The only thing I had wrong with Jennifer Botterill's statement last night, she goes, "Well, what if that's your kid?" Well, it's not. I'm just a hockey fan watching the game, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a bit of
bullshit, whether it's my kid or not, right?
Yeah, so whatever. So that was a bit odd. But when she made the statement, tough and physical versus cheap and dirty, I kind of laughed because you know what? Cheap and dirty didn't ever fly back in the day. It didn't. It actually didn't. It did. And so for Jamal Myers and Sam Cosentino to be defending that, cheap and dirty never flew, because if cheap and dirty happened, somebody else tougher and more physical would come over the bench and get you.
For sure.
Right. So don't be cheap and dirty.
And then, like they were saying, you're sending a message. That's not sending a message. That's being a chicken shit bitch. Yeah.
I played in some teams back in 1990, whatever it was, that had some tough and physical guys. And they would get cheap and dirty only when the other team got cheap and dirty. And that was that was one of those things from our coach. It's like, because our coach was tougher and more physical than anybody else, right? It's one of those things. But he would tell us stories, right? It was one of those things. Being cheap doesn't do you any good, because you don't want someone to cheap to you. It's like hockey used to have this, like the golden rule: do unto others if they were you. Right, it's one of those things, and as much as it's crazy and the slap shot shit and everything else and the brawls and everything else that happened, there was a lot of games that, yes, there was some shenanigans, 100%. I'm not saying there wasn't by any means, but the shit that goes on nowadays, it's not worse, but it's not better. And if you're not better 30 years later, you're worse.
There's like, when I see this kind of stuff that's carrying on now, like I forget that kid, Cousins from Columbus, and what that incident, and also the Detroit guy that got fucking laid out. Like it's that's just chicken shit stuff. There's no toughness at all to that. No. Drop your gloves, give him a shove, and say, let's do it. Yeah. Like if you're gonna do something about it, do something about it. But like swinging your fucking stick at an unsuspecting player, that's fucking
never
garbage. It's just fucking garbage. And something bad's gonna happen. Something bad is gonna happen, because there's gonna be one kid that takes that shot and it doesn't knock him down, but he's gonna lose his fucking cool and he's gonna swing his stick like he's trying to chop down a tree. He's going to catch a guy in the neck.
whatever year it was, 2003, 2004. I can't remember what exact year it was when Brian Berard got an errant stick in the face. I can't remember who got when he played for the Leafs. And he got an errant stick in the face, and he almost lost his eye. And this guy was a first overall draft pick. Almost lost his vision. It all worked out for him and everything else. And but and he was compensated ahead of time, and he was fine. But if that stick in the face now happens to a kid who's a ninth rounder who's got one game in the NHL, what happens to him? And let's take this another thing, Dave. Like, once they've gotten rid of the guy who doesn't mind giving the old tap in the lace a little bit and say, don't fuck around, quit fucking around. That's getting rid of not goons, because goons, it's a different game now. Like
Lucic, like Williams.
Having a bunch of Lucic and Williams on the ice, and for every team having one guy who's like, you know what? Fuck around and find out. And now you have a bunch of kids running around hitting guys from behind and swinging their sticks and everything else. Hockey's not as safe as it used to be. There's not as many goons as there was. And I shouldn't use that term, goon. Enforcers. There's not as many enforcer was. Hockey's a more unsafe game because the speed that these guys are flying at around the ice is. I'm not saying every hit's dirty, but there's a lot more dirty hits because of the speed that's happening. And so now the game is a lot different now. Like it's a lot different, and there's not enough guys to fill a roster because salary cap implication, everything else, that want to defend their teammates.
I think it's a bit of a combination of everything. The speed of the game,
not knowing how to play the game. Another one.
Yeah, along with the skill development that's been brought up through these kids all the time and not getting hit. And then also the self-policing, because, I think kids these days, let the players police themselves. I've heard that a couple times. And, this shit that these guys are sending, he's sending a message by smacking him in the face like that. That's not policing yourself. That's being a fucking.
That guy's doing somebody else. That guy's doing somebody else.
Yeah, policing yourself is someone like Justin Williams or Milan Lucic. It's like if that shit happened in the first period, it's like someone's answering the bell, and like someone's coming to me by the end of the second period. If not, I'm gonna pick someone in the third. Okay, so like get out here. And I'm just gonna troll. I'm just gonna be fucking Jaws in the ocean. Anytime you hear me, you're gonna hear that fucking dun 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 dun, and it might be you. Like fucking, you come here and you guys mind your P's and fucking Q's, or I'm gonna fucking rip someone's head off and feed it to somebody.
There was a funny story I heard. I can't remember what I was listening to, but Wendell Clark, somebody, the Vancouver Canucks were playing the Toronto Maple Leafs in regular season, and when somebody hit Doug Gilmour, I can't remember who it was for the Canucks. Let's say Jelinas. It doesn't matter.
Snaps. Harold Snaps.
Harold Snaps fucking hit Doug Gilmour, but it wasn't, because that's the different eras. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doug Gilmour, Wendell Clark said he grabbed Pavel Bure by the shirt and pulled him over to the Canucks bench, said, "You quit fucking with Gilmour. I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy." And it stopped. And that's what it was. And the game was clean after, and then Gilmour, and then Clark said the game was clean beyond belief after that. Like, don't fuck with him, because I'm going to fuck with this guy. And that's tough. That's not cheap. He didn't punch anybody. That's tough. Tough and physical is way better than cheap and dirty, like Jennifer Botterill said. Like that line is fantastic. Yeah.
And there's so few players in the league that can walk the talk too, right? Now it's just
Wendell was one of those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
But he hasn't played in 30 years.
Right. That was a long time ago. And then those players are a dying breed, and we understand why. But it would be I would be offended if they brought a little fucking toughness into the league right now, and then also making these players aware. Like you always say, the best way to avoid a situation is don't put yourself in a situation, right? Flying 100 miles an hour with your hair on fire, doing backhand passes, and sooner or later there's going to be a shoulder in your fucking chest, right? And you're going to be down, and then now that guy's going to have to fight one guy. There's going to be a guy swinging sticks at him and fucking rabbit punching, like whatever they do now. Like there's the toughness in the league, and toughness and goonery are two totally different things. Wendell Clark, tough. Lucic, tough. Williams, tough. Probert, fucking crazy tough. To a little bit into the goonery and stuff, but still tougher than shit. He can play the game and keep up. But you fuck around, you find out. No one's finding out, right? No one's finding out. Now they're finding out. Oh, what? Like I swing a stick? What? Like I got a 5-game suspension now? Wow, big fucking deal.
Whatever.
Right?
My parents are rich. I'm going to Daytona next week or whatever, wherever. Yeah.
Well, I'm a professional athlete. I'm going to be just fine. I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll just run a tab in the owner's suite.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. No, it's
and the super skilled, like Bedard and stuff. They don't put themselves in these situations, and that might be a problem that's going to manifest itself one of these days as well, right? When someone on the Blackhawks takes a shot at I don't make up your star, right? And then someone now takes a shot at Bedard. Then what happens? And he's now out for 2 months. The Blackhawks can't afford that. The league can't afford it. And it is going to happen the way this is progressing. Like these fucking donkeys who would rather take major penalties by using their sticks and being cheap shot artists as opposed to actually, let's fucking settle this then. I don't know how to fight. You don't know how to fight. Let's see what happens here. I don't care.
The thing I still love about hockey is it's the only sport where two guys can just drop the fucking mitts and punch in the face and then give themselves a pat in the head when it's all said and done. Say, we're done. Okay, we're done. We're good.
Yeah.
You're mad. We're mad. Done. Let's do it. I'm not mad anymore. And have a beer when the game's over.
Yeah, you're right. Like after the last punch, like literally 2 seconds earlier.
The game is so physical and it's so different than football. Like everybody's a football guy. The game of hockey is so different than football. Mm-hmm. So different, and the guys are flying. They're going so fast, and there's reactions and things that are happening like right now, and you have a weapon in your hand and everything. I shouldn't call it a weapon, but it is like all of a sudden you lift your stick and some guy's eye is out. Right? Football doesn't have that. Like it's different, and people who don't watch hockey, they don't understand that how crazy it used to be 30 years ago, let alone 40 years ago. Like it was it was barbarian, but there was respect to it, right? There was absolute respect to it. This guy you fuck with the fuck, you'll get fucked up. It's just different now. It's just different now.
Yeah, I guess
it's not better, different.
Yeah, I guess it's consequences. I guess, right? For your actions, and then like I say as well, like being able to receive a hit. Think back to the day. Could you imagine if they took away no touch icing?
Oh fuck!
Like, how did guys not fucking die back in the day?
Well, lots lost careers, right?
Right. A lot of fucked up knees and legs,
and ankles, and broken this and broken that, and fucked up this and fucked up that. But it's just.
Blows me away that no touch icing was never
it took that long
forever. Yeah,
it took that long.
It was ridiculous that like your all-star defenseman is chasing a puck down and then knowing full well that someone's going to hit him going full fucking speed after the whistle blows.
What I found crazy about that, now that you brought it up, like what I find crazy about that is that I remember like when guys would come out of playing minor hockey, bantam or midget, or whatever it was, that for American listeners, that was like 14, 15-year-old players going to play the Western Hockey League, and where it was just you ice the puck and there was the whistle would go, and then you go to the Western League and also it was touch icing. These kids didn't know what the fucking rules were. So they hit somebody's skates and a fucking brawl would ensue because they didn't know. So all of a sudden you have a 15-year-old kid in a fight with a 20-year-old guy. Like what? They didn't know. Like it's crazy. It was so. And the Western League was it was a Wild West, but it was great. It was great. Wasn't it?
You're right. It was great. It did need
but
to
that
change.
Hockey was how hockey. Maybe I'm getting to that point of old man get off my lawn. But that hockey was great, and I think that hockey should maybe make not all the way back, but like a 45% redux to what that was.
I agree. There has to be some more physicality, like even. Like obviously your
accountability.
Your players like Gretzky and Sakic and that kind of thing. They weren't the ones leading the charge, bringing the heat, but they knew it was out there and they knew how to protect themselves and be able to be part of the fray without getting hurt or doing something stupid that's going to jeopardize them going forward.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Because there's a lot of fucking pussies out there right now.
There's a lot of pussies out there right now. I wish we could make that the title of the show. We'll let Jim, the producer, make that. There's a lot of pussies out there.
A lot of pussies out there these days.
Pussies out there. Have you ever been called a pussy?
Like on the field, I don't know if I like just in someone trying to goad me, but that's like. I can't remember the last time. Mind you, I'm 54 today too, right? So
I was getting to that, Dave. You beat me to it, but I was getting to that.
So it's been a while since I've even been goaded with the pussy talk.
I can't remember last time. I've been called a pussy, but I can't remember what the situation was. I'm sure you fucking pussy. Yeah, I know.
You fucking pussy.
Yeah, I wear a mask. I'm a goalie.
Yeah, quit being a pussy.
No, I won't. I don't want to get punched in the face. Yeah.
That makes me a pussy. Yeah. Color me feline.
Dave, before we get to North America's favorite game show, who is better? Happy birthday. So you beat me to it. And you kind of.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
I had it for you and everything else, but we'll get to that later on. Pat McAfee, I don't like the guy. I think he's a bit of a fuckhead. And he's a bit of a show guy and clickbait and everything else. He has everybody's favorite douchebag, Aaron Rodgers, on his show yesterday. And then all of a sudden, the Jeffrey Epstein thing. We don't get political here on this thing. And I don't want to talk about the Epstein thing because it's gonna go crazy. But who the fuck in their right mind talks about something that talks about child rape and on and on and on, that Aaron Rodgers why do you think that Aaron Rodgers, and who does Aaron Rodgers think he is, going on national television making a statement like he did yesterday, and then for Jimmy Kimmel to come out, because Jimmy Kimmel seems like a pretty upstanding guy. I don't know why Rodgers said it, but Rodgers needs to fuck off.
I 100% agree. It's
not just fuck off. Stay fucked off.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what his motive. He just clearly needs the attention so bad, and I don't know what's going to happen to this fucker in 2-3 years when he does finally have to hang him up, because. Like, he ain't getting a fucking job in the boot. I wouldn't think. he's getting a job in the booth.
Nope.
Like he's not going to be starting Omaha Productions like a thing like Peyton Manning is doing right now. Peyton Manning's doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, shows and producing shows and hosting shows.
It doesn't hurt being a nice person.
It doesn't hurt, but like going out of your way to be a fucking dick, like. I don't either. Because I did a little bit of reading on that because I don't know how Jimmy Kimmel caught a stray from Aaron Rodgers, but apparently Jimmy Kimmel made a couple of jokes back in the day about his immunization status and him catching COVID and that
whatever
kind of thing. Whatever, right? But like to like now we're talking libel here, and when you say he's going to be on the Epstein list, you are calling him a pedophile. That's what you are. That's what you're saying.
And the thing about that, Dave, I'll cut you off for half a second and you get back into it. But and what Kimmel said is, do you realize that the harm you've done to my family? Because now when people see me on this list, there's wackadoodles out there that fucking want to kill me because all of a sudden I'm a rapist because you're a fuckhead and you say these kind of things. Aaron Rodgers needs to be suspended, and you know what? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This guy gets this fucking platform, and I'm pissed off. And I'm not a McAfee guy at all either. I think he's a fuckhead too, not the level that Rodgers is, but there is no way that this little stunt went through either production, through fucking.
Oh no, it's a live show. That was
on and on. There's no way that the pre-production meetings that this was not talked about by fucking McAfee and the rest of those assholes. That Rodgers, this wasn't a surprise. This was not a surprise. No way.
I disagree. McAfee did not know this was going to happen. I realized McAfee was bombastic and everything. I saw the clip. McAfee was surprised, and and here's the thing: like McAfee is now doing this show on ESPN. So this was said on ESPN, which Disney owns ESPN and Disney owns ABC, and ABC is where Jimmy Kimmel's talk show is on. So someone up the food chain who's signing checks for fucking everybody, this came across his desk, and calls were made. And then McAfee did offer a half-hearted apology, but Rodgers didn't.
I think McAfee was a liar today. I thought he was a liar.
Yeah. I'm
entitled to my opinion as well, like McAfee is as well, and you are as well. I thought there's no way that stuck through the fucking wickets. There's no way.
No, there's for sure a way. That show's live, and
you think Rodgers is that fucking smart? Because the other guy on the show,
I don't think Rodgers
the other guy, I can't remember what the other guy on that show. The other guy on that show set that up, and then Rodgers said what he said.
There was something a little hanky about that. I agree with that, but
piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't think McAfee was in on it because he's making
that show is so produced. There's no way, Dave. There's no way. We'll agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I'll give McAfee a bit of the benefit of the doubt. I'm not overly crazy about his act. I could imagine if I was 25, 26, I would probably find him a lot more funny. I think he's I think McAfee's a bit of a genuine guy. I think I don't think he's mean-spirited. I really don't. I don't think he's in it for clicks and he's in it for to agitate, but he's not mean-spirited. And and everything
next week. If he has Rodgers on next week, we know exactly what actually happened.
We'll find out. And what I don't understand is like, Jesus fucking Christ, Aaron Rodgers, can't you just just relax? Like, fuck, I get it. You're disappointed that you're not playing for the Jets. I get it. Now, by wanting and craving the spotlight so much and needing the clicks and needing to be on everybody's tip of everybody's tongue. Did you hear what he did? Did you see what he said? It's fucking just put all your heart, mind, soul into recovery, because you know what? You're 40 next year, and if you don't produce, you're a complete and fucking washed up has-been.
And saying this
everybody
saying for over a year now.
You bet. You're putting the bullseye on your fucking chest.
I don't care if you're a vaccinator, anti-vaxxer. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Yeah. I actually don't. If you want to get a fucking jab, go and do it. If you don't want to get a jab, go and do it. But for that piece of shit over and over to keep doing what he's doing, because freedom of speech is one thing. You're not allowed to lie.
You're not allowed to yell fire in a crowded room.
You're not allowed to lie. You can't do that. And that's what he's been doing for a long time. That motherfucker is bad-mouthing Travis Kelce for being sponsored by
Pfizer.
But yet he's getting paid by fucking Johnson & Johnson, who had also had a fucking COVID vaccination. So you know what? Shut your fucking mouth. That guy is the biggest piece of shit in fucking sports in the last 20 years. And I'm not even gonna apologize for that. That guy is a piece of shit.
He's really, I don't know if he's showing his true colors. I don't know.
What he's doing will keep him out of the Hall of Fame. He's a fucking idiot.
No, he's still going to the Hall of Fame. I completely agree with the idiot status, but next year it's fuck or walk, and it ain't going to be easy, because recovering from a torn Achilles at the age of 25 is a lot different than the age of 39. I actually want him to stay healthy and just fail miserably. I want to see him fail.
And watch him on McAfee and blame everybody else.
Yeah, whatever. Guaranteed. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I just want to see him fail, because
the biggest loser in 20 years in sports.
Someone that commits a crime and then commits suicide, you chicken shit. No, I want to see that person that commits a crime to serve their time and think about what they did. I want Aaron Rodgers to play 17 weeks next year, and then maybe when the Jets are 5 and 12, and then I'm not going to play this last week. Yeah, you are. You're going to play it.
And he'll find a way to blame somebody else.
Yep, for sure he will.
But that guy's the biggest fucking loser in sports in the last 20 years.
And he has it all in his mind how he's going to leave the NFL in a blaze of glory, but I think it's going to be on a big pile of fucking shit.
No, it drove me nuts, because
and why? Why be an asshole? Why be an asshole? He had.
We all have said things that are funny in our lives, or we thought were funny in our lives, that we made mistakes, and that they're taken out of context, because I've always said, it's context, delivery, and intent. That fucking Rodgers' intent was to fucking harm Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. You know what? That's it. Yeah, it was to piss Jimmy Kimmel off. I don't think it was.
And with Kimmel going out and saying, if you say one more word, you'll talk to my lawyer. That means Kimmel was 100% not in the wrong, and not one word has been said from fucking Rodgers since that all happened. That guy needs to fuck off and stay fucked off. And if the Jets were smart, they would just, you know what? Well, distance ourselves from him too. It was a brutal line. And then for fucking stupid McAfee to go, well, it was a couple of guys.
Shit. No, he said he was
a couple of guys just having some fun. No, you know what? You're an idiot too. Fuck off and stay fucked off. That was a bad take on fucking Rodgers. It's a bad take for ESPN to fucking air it. And it's a bad take for McAfee to fucking say anything. It was awful. Awful.
Well, what's a live show? You can't take it back.
Yeah, you can. Because there's 10-second delays. It's not live.
Yeah. Well, it's live enough. But you know what I'm saying. I agree, but I am in agreement with you. I don't think Rodgers should The next words out of his fucking mouth on a public
I'm retired and go off Never Land.
Well, or an absolute retraction, and I'm sorry for the
he
words.
Won't. He's such a fuckhead.
No, I know he won't, but I'm just saying that's what should happen. But, I was a bit in Rodgers' corner. I think he's a bit of an asshat, but, all your alpha males are kind of asshats in a bit of a way, and they're demanding and they expect people to work and do as hard as them. But what Rodgers is doing right now, what he's done this whole fucking year, it's just look at me, 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 look at me. And then I'm just fucking tired of it. Just fucking tired of it.
John Elway never says that. He's your favorite athlete of all time.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, he's the best quarterback ever in the history of the NFL.
Even if John Elway believed in the I'm not an anti-vax, pro-vax, whatever. Elway would never have said that.
Nope. He's a team guy.
Derek Jeter never said that.
Team guy.
Wayne Gretzky never said that.
Team guy.
Rodgers is the biggest piece of shit in my fucking lifetime in sports history.
Jeremy Roenick might have said it.
No, he's on TV regularly, right?
Okay, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. It's classless.
It's disturbing.
It's stupid, and it's borderline illegal, right?
Because people plead that whatever the fifth or fourth or whatever amendment is,
free speech.
But you aren't allowed to lie.
You're not allowed to defame, right?
You can't go in front of a judge and lie. They say the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't lie. And that's what this fucker does week after week. He's a piece of shit.
I like I said, I was a bit of a defender for Aaron Rodgers.
About this one. I've been ready since yesterday this came about.
But that one that pisses me off too, because maybe I'm a bit of a hypocrite, and if he would have said something about Kurt Warner, I wouldn't have been as offended because I like Jimmy Kimmel. But what Rodgers is doing right here is just being an absolute fucking asshat, looking for clicks, and that's it. I don't even know what he's trying to do here. Just trying to remain relevant. I don't even know, and that's a head scratcher for me. How he can be so insecure of possibly leaving the public's scope. Like that's the only thing. Like I don't know what else. He can't contribute on the field, so he just has to remain relevant by being a fucking asshat. I don't know. And it I'm not saying it's troubles me. I'm going to sleep just fine tonight, but it's just like fuck, man.
Oh, I stay awake at night listening to this.
Well, I'm sorry that you're going to lose a couple winks tonight.
No, that was one when I heard it yesterday. I was like, "What the fuck?" Because I watch all this stuff and things, right? Like, and I listen. I was like, "Why?" And then was it this morning when McAfee was like backtracking? I was like, "No, man, no, you can shut the fuck up too," because Dave, I know. Like it's like obviously McAfee show is way bigger than ours. Obviously, that's not a fucking surprise.
It's just a bit. It's not just way.
No, it's a little bit. But I'm telling you right now, everything that we do is. I have a thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to do this. We're going to, and I know you for 25 years now, 30 years now, whatever it is. I know things we aren't going to touch on. I know things that we should touch on. I know things we're going to talk about. I know things that if I say something that will trigger you, things that will trigger me. 100, and we've known each other for a long time. There is no way that wasn't talked about prior to Aaron Rodgers saying Jeffrey Epstein's Island. There's no way. There's no fucking way. McAfee is just as guilty as Rodgers. There's no fucking way.
I'm
telling you right now.
Here's why I disagree. I think Pat McAfee has a lot more to lose than Aaron Rodgers, like financially. Like he's just pretty fresh into this big time deal. Like he's like or hate him, McAfee's a bit of he's a total self-made man, right? He's gone upwards and upwards and upwards, and this is a self-made empire. And now he's playing with the big boys, swimming with the big boys on ESPN. He's on the fucking panel on College Game Day.
No, he's huge.
He's massive. And if he orchestrated, like, what possible reason would McAfee have to orchestrate such a ridiculous thing? Because he's like, the McAfee arrow is going straight fucking 100%. Up. And the only thing that this thing might do would be to turn that curve going back down.
It's going to go down.
Yeah, well, and that's why that's the reason, the sole reason I believe McAfee had nothing to do with this.
His apology seemed a little bit not apologetic.
And that might be like
because you work with both sides, right? You have one side saying this and one side saying that, and we're not being political because you know what? I'm not American, but it was a bad look. It was a bad.
And I agree with that. And I did not see the apology. I just read that he had thrown out an apology, and then like you say, context, delivery, and intent. I don't know how that apology came off, and you saw it. I did not, and so
the delivery was bad. The intent was there for money, and the context was like, well, I still have it.
I think Pat McAfee has nothing to gain and a lot more to lose by letting Aaron Rodgers spout off like that.
If he's allowed back on television next week, well, then we know.
It might be interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, Dave, here's what I was going to do. North America's favorite game show, the Who Is Better for your 54th birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. It's been a long time. I've been to a few of your birthday parties. What did you do today to celebrate your 54th birthday?
Went to work and had a day. The fucking planet doesn't care it's your birthday, right? So you go to work and then I came home and the wife had yoga today. But do you know what my son did? We made
you mop the floor.
No, he made me a bacon cheese panini to eat with our tomato soup tonight.
Nice. That's nice.
It was nice. He cooked the bacon, and it's not like Cheese Whiz or cross slices. It was slices of Swiss and slices of cheddar with nice, good bacon. I had made some homemade tomato soup last night, so that's what we had. We had bacon while Kaylee was away at yoga. Him and I had bacon cheese paninis with tomato soup.
I may have to hire Jasper to come on over here and cook for us a little bit while
you would have loved it, brother. It was a tasty fucking sandwich. And then my wife also, like, I'm a cheese fiend. I love that shit. And so I even have fondue cheese in the freezer. So when I got home today, there was fresh bread cubed with melted fondue cheese. So I might wake up with gout tomorrow because I'm having a beer now.
Sticky.
Oh, fuck.
Sticky in the gout.
Sticky in the gout. I've heard I know people with the gout. They say there's nothing worse, so I don't want it. But I can eat cheese, beer, and bacon. Oh.
We had speaking of fondue, like as you brought that up, we had a little situation at Margaret's house on Christmas Eve there. We fondued the whole thing, and actually we met up for a couple of drinks at Pops North there, and you got us the fuel for fondue. Well, fuck me, I had a couple beers in me, and we got to Margaret's, and we're filling up the things and lit the thing, blah blah, all the stuff
in the house or in the garage.
In the house.
Oh, of course, that's the best place to do it.
Like on the table, on the table, like it was fondue. It was fondue time. It was time to start cooking the fondue. And fuck me, Deanne said, "Can you move that over here?" So I just aggressively shoved the fondue pot over there, and then there was a spillage on the tablecloth of the fondue fuel. So then brother-in-law Craig lit it, and there was a fucking stream of fire. Stream of fire going across Margaret's fucking table. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. McKinley, my niece, she goes, oh, she goes, that's not good. I said, no, it's not good. Craig just wrapped it up. We just like, and she went downstairs, put it, and McKinley goes, well, what are we going to do with that? I said, just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. It's just gone. So, Margaret, if you're listening, yes, we burnt the blue Christmas the blue Christmas tablecloth. There was a stream like Dave, fuck, like oh yeah, that worked.
And it was that plasticky nylon with the.
No, it was a nice tablecloth. Like
it was nice cloth.
Yeah, like and it just.
Was it
a stream of fire across the top of it? Like, oh yeah, didn't burn the table, didn't burn the dining room table, but yeah, Margaret, if you're listening, it's gone.
Was it an heirloom?
That no, the coffee table or the dining room table is the cloth is
the
not.
Cloth. Okay,
it's probably 20 years old though. Like it's like yeah. That's
a Mother's Day present.
Yeah, it was funny because McKinley was like, "Oh Jesus," and we said, "Just shut up."
What are we gonna do? You're gonna shut your mouth, young lady.
I'm gonna go downstairs. We're gonna it's gone. Don't worry about it. It was really funny. It was actually one of those funny things. It was one of those things. Dave, let's get it. So, who was better for your 54th birthday?
I'm ready for it.
What was your favorite birthday over the years?
I remember being probably 10 years old.
Oh, that far back?
And going to McDonald's for my birthday.
Back where Popeyes is now.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And they had the train, right? See that, and then you got to go in for a tour of the kitchen and everything.
Oh,
I remember that quite clearly. That was probably my first best party. And then everything else is just a blur after that.
Just whatever. Drunk all the time or whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, let's take it. So who is better and get it ourselves out of here? Dave, who is better? Billy Smith, not lost our New York Islanders goaltender, or Billy Martin, 5-time fired New York Yankees manager.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to give me Billy Idol, and then I'd take Billy Idol and
Billy Idol's better than both of those.
That guy's fucking crazy and indestructible. Billy Martin isn't indestructible because he's dead. Billy Smith, I did like the Islanders back in the day, but also that tomahawk chop he laid on Gretzky in the, I want to say 84 finals, maybe 83. Else. He was something else. He was a mean SOB. Billy Martin, Billy Martin was a drunkard and an asshole, and I think he's if it wasn't for George Steinbrenner, we really wouldn't even know Billy Martin. So I'm going to give this one to 4-time Stanley Cup winner Billy Smith.
That gets forgotten about. He won a Vezina as well. Billy Smith was a really good goaltender.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Like people forget about how good he was, and he was kind of the forgotten guy. And the same with like Grant Fuhr. Like yeah, he was great, but people forget about how good Grant Fuhr was because of Gretzky and Curry and Coffey and the like. And the goaltender gets kind of left behind there. But yeah, Billy Smith was fantastic. He was a good goaltender. He was a bit aggressive. There's no getting around that.
He could handle his own business.
There's no getting around that. Dave, who is better? Ray Lewis for the Baltimore Ravens, or the second fastest man in the world, Carl Lewis?
Oh, God. Fuck. I hate both of these guys. I fucking can't stand both of these guys.
Yeah,
Ray Lewis was probably one of the best linebackers to ever play the sport. He pretty much sent Eddie George into retirement.
Eddie George was such a great player.
He was, until Ray Lewis fucking knocked him into next week that one time. Eddie George was really good. Too bad he played at he was a Luckeye.
Play one game a year.
Carl Lewis, I couldn't fucking stand Carl Lewis either. He's such an egotistical prick. Won 4 gold medals at the Los Angeles Olympics.
Really fast.
He was so fast, had that ending kick. You know what? I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one to. Fuck! I'm gonna give it to Ray Lewis. Hate them both. I can't stand them both, but
I can't give it to Ray Lewis because there was a little situation before the Super Bowl back in 2002, I think it was, or 2001. There was a death involved in that situation. Carl Lewis, he did his job properly. Yeah, he pulled up lame with the Donovan Bailey. They did a
no. You're thinking Michael Johnson. Carl Lewis. That was Ben Johnson. Was his?
Okay, I got that wrong.
Yeah,
but Carl Lewis was never
questioned for murder.
Never questioned for murder, and so I kind of got to give this one to Carl Lewis, whereas Ray Lewis had. I'm not saying he killed anybody. I'm not saying that at all. But Ray Lewis is a bit, there's a situation there.
Yeah. Oh, no, like I hate both these guys. Like if you would have said Ray Carruthers, I might have picked him.
Like you wonder why Ray Lewis got a, if Ray Lewis retired 4 years ago, Ray Lewis would not be on TV now.
Is he on TV?
Yeah, he's on. He's
I know he was on TV. They tried pushing him a bit, but like I don't think he's on. Mind you, I never watch pregame shows anymore. I don't watch that kind of shit anymore. So I knew they tried pushing him, but like I never watched, so I don't know. I don't think he's on anymore unless it's some kind of fringe show.
Yeah, Dave, who is better, Three's Company star John Ritter or Philadelphia Flyers coach? And bit of an asshole himself, John Tortorella.
Oh, John Ritter by fucking leaps and bounds. By leaps, it's not even fucking close. John Ritter fucking makes me laugh. Three's Company. And did you ever see that movie Skin Deep? Do you remember that?
Oh, I'm sure I did, yeah.
Oh, fuck. It was with the condom, glow-in-the-dark condom fight. It was one of the funniest scenes. I remember seeing that in the theater and literally pissing myself laughing. It's one of the most funniest things I've ever seen in my life. No, John Ritter is so funny. Tortorella can fucking eat ass. I don't fucking care. Yeah,
I like Torts.
He's entertaining, but I never want him to. I don't want him coaching my team ever. I think he's a total fucking horse's ass. He's too pompous. He's looking for quotes. Like and you know, even when he was with the Rangers and getting into fights with journalists all the time, just answer the fucking question, coach, and let me do my job.
Tortorella or McAfee?
Tortorella. Tortorella walks around with a burr in his saddle. I think McAfee is looking for clicks. Yeah. So, like, you know, I don't want to hang with you. You know what? I would rather probably hang and go for dinner with Tortorella than McAfee.
100%.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to do fucking fireballs and Jello shots.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I'd rather have a steak and a nice glass of wine. Yeah, but you know, like Tortorella pisses me off too.
We talked about off air a lot. I've never found McAfee good. I think he's a fuckhead.
Yeah, and I don't care for him either. When I was watching,
Dave, it's your 54th birthday. Sound off on fucking on whatever you want right now.
Well, I was just saying, like, fuck me. When I was down in the States, we have all the ESPN channels. I accidentally turned into the wrong one, and it's a fucking McAfee. They're doing a game thing from the sidelines, and there's like what the fuck is this? And then I looked a little closer and pulled up the guide again. And like, so it was McAfee and two of his homies. I don't know if homies is the right word. Jamoki, whatever.
Well, you're 54 now. You say whatever you want.
Yeah. There's three guys doing it from the sidelines, and they're doing commentary from there. And then I switched to another channel, and it was with no commentary, and it was just a sky cam. So I watched that for a little bit, and then I switched to the other one, and it was so-and-so on Herb Street. And so I found out that day.
The best.
Herb Street's so good.
Oh, he's the best.
He knows. Yeah.
They don't get better than Herb Street.
Yeah,
he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
I don't care what your knowledge is. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, Herb Street can do color on any football game.
And what I like about him is you have Lee Corso, who should be retired and should be
it's getting a little up there. Yep,
he is. But Herb Street puts his arm around Lee Corso and realizes, you know what, this guy, he got me in this job. I love Herb Street. I love Corso, but Herb Street is so good. He knows how he got his job, and and Corso, yeah, he's a little bit older and he should be put to pasture. But I think it's fantastic.
Panel show before that's the entire fucking panel on Fox, right? Like Jimmy Johnson and Terry Bradshaw. Fuck, put those guys out.
College Game Day is way better than anything NFL does.
I agree. Well, you got the energy of the crowd and that kind of thing, and I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Two more. I got two more. Wish happy birthday. What are you gonna have? A Jaeger bomb tonight, or what are you doing?
No, I'm gonna maybe have a cigarette and then go to bed. We're having a celebration supper on Sunday, so I'm doing things I'm gonna love on Sunday. I'm gonna fucking cook a big fat meal and get a little pissed and watch football.
I'm gonna get a little pissed of myself. What we got here? Dave, who is better? Guy had a little bit of a rough ending to his career in Vancouver. Todd Bertuzzi or Todd Bridges?
Oh, poor Willis. Poor Willis. Oh, man, I love Different Strokes. That was such a funny show. I dug it a lot.
Cutting edge.
I don't know. I don't even know. I was so young. I don't know if it was cutting edge or I don't know if they were pandering to me. I don't even give a shit. I just know what you talking about, Willis.
Bertuzzi was a hell of a player.
Bertuzzi was a hell of a player, but left me with such a dirty taste in my mouth for what he did to that fucking kid Reeves. Steve Moore. Oh, but Todd Willis, he's dead. Or Todd Bridges, he's dead now. No, I don't know. Are you sure?
I don't think he's dead.
I think
Dave Plato's dead.
Yeah.
I know that Gary Coleman's dead.
But Bridges, did he do time?
I think Bridges is still time. I don't know that.
Neither do I. I'm going to give this one just because I don't know about Todd Bridges. I hope he is doing well because I know he did run afoul of the law back in the day. There was running afoul. Not that Bertuzzi didn't run afoul, like whacking a guy on the side of the head with his fucking stick and head. Oh, no, so he didn't use his stick. He just punched him.
Punched him back and then jumped his back and punched him back. Yeah,
ruined his career and broke his neck.
Paralyzed the guy and everything else. Yeah.
No, he didn't paralyze him, but fucked him up.
Well, Moore is paralyzed.
No. He's walking around.
No.
I'm gonna say well shit. I'm gonna say
don't Google, who cares? I've been wrong twice.
Todd Bridges, because he made you know what? Did Todd Bridges ever make me laugh, or I just liked it when Arnold said, "What you talking about, Willis?" Let's give this one to Bertuzzi.
Todd Bridges. Todd Bridges?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it might be. Last one. The Toronto Blue Jays had a rough. I don't know if it's a rough.
They signed Kirkmeyer.
offseason, Kirkmeyer and Isaiah Kiner for left us now at Toronto Blue Jays. And who is better, Dave? And then Atkins put a statement out yesterday, and he had a bit of a press conference. But who is better, Ross Atkins or Ross Geller?
Oh God,
I hate Ross Geller. He's such a fucking nozzle.
So the character Ross Geller, not the actor David Schwimmer, correct? Right. We're talking. What's his nuts from Friends? What was his name in Friends?
Ross Geller, David Schwimmer, Ross Geller.
Ross Geller. Yeah, sorry.
Ross Geller and Ross Atkins.
Oh, fuck. You know, one's fictional, one's real.
Well, that's what most of these are.
Both I don't care about.
Well, 100%.
I think Atkins is doing a job. And you know what? I can't really complain if I was a Blue Jays fan. He's constructed a decent lineup, and they really did underperform from last year. So let's give this one. I prefer Ross Atkins because I think he's doing his job, whereas that fucking Ross Geller drove me fucking nuts.
Oh, how he fucking hooked up with fucking Jennifer Aniston or Rachel, whatever was his name.
And like the fact he even breeded with someone beforehand, right? Like he had a kid. Yeah, like it's just no.
Like he had 3 or 4 chances throughout his life, and the thing I got with Ross Atkins is that there's a lot of Blue Jays fans right now who are down on Atkins for not getting a championship team, but he's like, you know what? I signed this guy, I signed that guy, got this. We've been expecting Guerrero to do this, Bichette to do this. We signed Springer at fucking $14 million. Blah, on and on and on.
Manoah to pitch.
Right? If Manoah was better last year, we would have won 98 games instead of 94.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think Jade's fans are a little bit. I don't want to say stupid, but they're a little bit jaded. That, you know what, Ross Atkins has not done a bad job. He's
really set the table. It's up to you
here.
To eat.
I think this season, this coming season, they're putting the blame, not the blame, but they're like, okay, Vladdy, go fucking do what you're supposed to do. Bichette, go do what you're supposed to do. Springer, go do what you're supposed to do. I don't think that Springer's a bad. Or not Springer. Ross Atkins is a bad GM. The guys have underperformed. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you know what? Even the starting pitching overperformed.
Fantastic.
Like, after Manoah left, right? You know, because he was supposed to be a stud, and he wasn't. And
if he goes 8-8 last year, they win the East.
Yeah, and you have what's his name, Barreros and Kikuchi, and another guy. He pitched so well, like he was hotter than a pistol for a couple months there.
Crazy. And we thought Kikuchi's bringing Ohtani to Canada, but yeah.
Well, for 6 games a year. Oh, not even with the Dodgers, though, right? So.
No. Dave, fun show tonight once again. We got a little revved up, or I got a little revved up a couple things, and it was fun. Happy birthday! We're going to get together for a couple drinks before the whoever. I saw there was something coming up for a dinner coming up at the end of the month, so hopefully get together before then.
Yes, and let me know when the producer has her half of the house settled. I've been to your half. Kitty and I would love to come over and just get together and break some bread or just tip some glasses. I don't give a shit. But once the Greek freak is all done upstairs, just let us know. She did text me today, said she found my slippers, and I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah, that was a big concern. Jesus.
Don't worry about Dave's slippers. Just unpack the fucking 95 of it.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. Take care of yourself. More important, take care of yourself and you around. Keep sticking the ice and well state.
And who has it better than us? Nobody. Don't swing at high pitches, Jim. Go Big Blue. We'll talk on Monday.
You know what? Go Michigan. Why not?
Attaboy. Why not? And Montana. Go Grizz. Go Michigan.
Go Grizz. Go Michigan. Have a good night, folks. Talk to you on Monday night.
Good night, everybody.
Reconcile me, even if you think that you're too